myself Chef Santosh Malkoti, and today we are going to have a session on basic mother sauces. So as you must have studied about basic mother sauces in first semester, and this is a quick revision about basic mother sauces. So as you know that there are three categories of basic mother sauces. Some of the sauces they are called as roux-based sauces, some are categorized as egg-based sauces, and some are categorized as tomato-based sauces. So roux-based are bechamel, velouté, espagnole. Egg-based are mayonnaise, hollandaise. Tomato-based is tomato sauce. Okay, now we are going to start the preparation of all these basic mother sauces. So let's start. Okay, to make all the roux-based sauces, first of all, you must know what are these. What is the roux? Okay, roux is basically a mixture of equal quantity of butter and flour. Okay, which are cooked together. So when you cook butter and flour together, the first stage of roux is called as white roux, and if you cook it furthermore, you will get a blonde roux, and when you cook it again for a few more minutes, you will get a brown roux. So white roux is used for bechamel, blonde roux is used for velouté, and for espagnole we have to use brown roux. Okay, now we are going to prepare bechamel sauce. To make bechamel sauce, we require the items which are displayed over here. So we require flour, butter, milk, and onion studded with bay leaf and cloves, which is called as klute. Okay, to make bechamel, first we need to boil milk with klute, which is onion studded with bay leaf and cloves. Once the milk starts boiling, then we have to start with the roux preparation. Okay, now what we have done over here is we have prepared white roux. Okay, so one very important thing which you have to keep in mind while mixing any roux with any liquid is that first that both the things they should be of opposite temperature. Over here the roux which we have prepared, it is cold. See, I can touch this, but the milk which we have boiled, it is still hot. Okay, so over here now I am going to add milk. So hot milk, I am going to mix with the roux which is cold. So why you need to have both the things at different temperature is that it will avoid forming the lumps. You will have a very smooth and creamy sauce, and your sauce will not get overcooked. Okay, suppose you have both the things, they are hot, then your sauce will definitely get overcooked and it will be very sticky and you will not get the right consistency. And in case if both the things are cold, you will get a very lumpy white sauce. Okay, so now you need to mix it gently, and if required you can use whisk also. Okay, and again, once again, you need to be very careful whenever you are using any aluminum container. Like over here, I am using aluminum pan, and your whisk it is stainless steel. So never ever overuse your whisk while making bechamel sauce in a aluminum container, because the end result will be very off color. Okay, you won't get a white sauce or bechamel sauce, it will be very silvery and it will get the aluminum color. Okay, so it is always advisable to use a wooden spatula while making bechamel sauce. Keep on stirring it with wooden spatula. As soon as it starts boiling, then we are going to add seasoning, that is salt and white pepper and some nut nutmeg. Okay, now once the sauce starts boiling, it will turn thick. Okay, and you need to ensure that it should be lump free. All the lumps has to be you can just by using a whisk you can break the lumps. Okay, and if required you can use even strainer also to strain the sauce. Okay, now our sauce is almost getting ready. Now it is the right time to add some nutmeg. Okay, you need to ensure that you should not add excess of nutmeg because it is very strong and it can spoil your sauce also. Okay, and in case if you want to use the bechamel now, okay, to add salt and pepper, white pepper. But in case if you want to keep your bechamel for future use, maybe after 2-3 hours you want to use, then it is advisable to avoid adding seasoning now. Okay, or else your sauce may get spoiled also. And one very important thing, whenever you want to make bechamel, you need to take care of the ingredients. You need to ensure that the ingredients are in right proportion, that is 1:1:10. So 1 part of butter, 1 part of flour and 10 parts of milk. That is the ideal ratio for making any bechamel sauce. So now our bechamel sauce is ready. Now we can strain it and put it in a bowl. Okay, now we have strained the bechamel sauce in a bowl, and now one very important step over here is that adding up of butter, a blob of butter, and mixing it gently. You should not mix the butter thoroughly, but you can just leave it like this. Okay, and this process is called as monter au beurre. Monter au beurre, which is a French term which means topping up of any roux based sauce with butter. Okay, so what is the reason of adding butter at the end once the roux based sauce is ready is that as soon as the butter will melt, it will create a film of butter or grease on top of the sauce, and it will help you to keep your sauce creamy. Okay, or else what happens usually if you don't do this, then you will find a thick layer of sauce which happens because of the oxidation. Okay, so if you want to avoid that thing to happen, you need to top it with butter, and you can cover it with plastic wrap and keep it for future use. So this is your bechamel. Okay, now we are going to make the second basic mother sauce, which is roux based and which is called as velouté. And the literal meaning of velouté means velvety in texture. So this sauce has to be very velvety in texture. That is the reason it is named as velouté. To make velouté, we require the items which are displayed over here. Okay, to make velouté, we require equal quantity of flour and butter, and to flavor the sauce, we can add some mushroom stem, some garlic, onion, and we can also flavor our sauce by using bouquet garni or sachet d'épices, and we require some white stock. So over here we have used white chicken stock. So first you need to make roux by using the equal quantity of flour and butter, and the color of the roux has to be like this, which we have already prepared. So now we are starting the preparation of velouté. First, heat up the pan, add little butter and little oil if required. As soon as the butter melts, we are going to add some chopped onions. It is just optional, okay? Some garlic, some chopped mushroom. As I have told you that these vegetables are optional. Okay, as I have told you that these vegetables are optional. So in some of the recipes you may find these vegetables and in some of the recipes you may not find these vegetables also. Okay, but whenever I make velouté sauce, I always prefer to add some extra flavoring vegetable in our velouté. So once the onion and mushrooms they have become translucent, they have released their flavors, and garlic, you smell garlic, then that is the right stage to add the stock, white stock. And as soon as it starts boiling, meanwhile you can add some the sachet d'épices also. It will again add on the extra flavoring part of the sauce. As soon as it starts boiling, we are going to add the roux. So you need to ensure that, again, the same principle you need to follow, that while making any roux based sauce, the temperature of the roux as well as the temperature of the liquid has to be different. Okay, so over here, once the liquid becomes hot, then only I am going to add the roux over here. Okay, meanwhile the stock for velouté which we have put on stove is getting boiled. We can start preparing a thing which is called as liaison, which is a mixture of cream and egg yolk. Okay, so we have taken 1 spoon of egg yolk and mixed it with 3. So we have taken 3 spoons of cream and 1 spoon of egg yolk, which we are going to mix, and this is called as liaison, and this is added at the final stage of velouté sauce preparation. Okay, so this will act as a thickening agent and it will provide a glossy appearance to the sauce as well. Okay, now over here the stock has boiled and I can smell mushroom, garlic, and the chicken stock is very flavorful. Now it is the right stage to add the blonde roux which we have prepared, and now the blonde roux has become cold as well. It has come to room temperature. Now we can add it to the liquid. Okay, again you need to remember that whenever you are adding roux to liquid, it has to be of opposite temperature, and the proportion of velouté sauce is again same like bechamel. So 1 part of butter, 1 part of flour, and 10 parts of liquid. Okay, so over here the liquid is stock. So as you cook the flour, the thickening capacity or thickening power of the flour reduces. So over here you can add little extra roux if required. Okay, now the sauce has been cooked and it has thickened, and I don't want my velouté to be very thick because finally I am going to add liaison as a thickening agent, so again it will become little more thick. So at this stage the velouté sauce looks fine, and before adding the liaison you need to ensure that you turn off the gas. You don't want your liaison to get cooked because it has egg yolk, and if egg yolk starts getting cooked, can you see the color has also lightened and it becomes more glossy now. If required you can add some more, it is up to your requirement. I want my velouté to be a little more off-white, it should not look like grey, so I am adding some more liaison in it, and I feel that this looks perfect now, and now it can be strained and it can be used for further preparation. Okay, now our velouté sauce has been strained, and again same like bechamel sauce, we have to top it with some butter. As you know that this process is called as monter au beurre, mounting the sauce with butter. which you need to generally follow for all roux based sauces. Okay, so this is our velouté sauce. Okay, now we are starting with our third roux based sauce, which is called as Espanol. Okay, to make Espanol sauce, we require the items which are displayed over here. Okay, so we require some spices over here: bay leaf, peppercorn, and sachet d'epices. Then garlic, chopped mirepoix, onion, carrot, celery, and we require brown roux. Okay, to make brown roux, we require flour and butter. Okay, and it has to be cooked, and the color of the roux has to be like this. It should not be burned, it should not be bitter in taste. Okay, and because of this we will get a good brown color sauce. And apart from these items, we require some tomato puree also. Even you can use tomato paste. So tomato paste or tomato puree, anything you can use. Plus we require a good flavorful brown stock. Okay, can you see the color of the stock is brown? It is dark brown. So, and plus it smells nice. So it has a good flavor of the meat and plus flavoring vegetables. And apart from this, we require some red wine also. Okay, so to make brown sauce, we require all these items. Okay, so let's start the preparation of Espanol sauce. It is always advisable to use butter, and in case if you want to avoid the burning of butter, you can add a drop of oil also in this. Okay. Now add some bay leaf, some peppercorn, and now you can add some roughly cut onions, some garlic, and some carrot. So basically you need to add mirepoix. So mirepoix is basically a mixture of flavoring vegetables which comprise of onion, carrot and celery. So 2 parts of onion, 1 part of carrot and 1 part of celery is the right or ideal proportion for a mirepoix. So let it become little brown in color, then we are going to add rest of the ingredients one by one. Can you see the color of the mirepoix has turned little brown? Okay, so you need to ensure that the vegetables, the mirepoix vegetables need to caramelize nicely. You should not burn them, but it has to be caramelized. Okay, now this is the right stage to add some wine, red wine in this, just to deglaze the sediments which has settled at the bottom of the pan and increase the temperature. Okay, now you can smell the vinegar, the wine, and as soon as it gets reduced, then you can add some tomato puree in this. Okay, we'll just wait the vinegar, the wine to get reduced properly, then we are going to add tomato puree. Okay, now most of our red wine has been evaporated. Okay, and this is the right stage to add tomato puree or tomato paste to this. Okay, and according to the requirement you can add tomato puree or tomato paste, and you have to cook it nicely. Let it again reduce. Okay, now the liquid, the moisture from the tomato sauce as well as from the red wine has been evaporated, and now it is just tomato paste and the chunks of vegetable. Once you achieve this stage, this is the right stage to add the stock, our brown stock. And bring it to a boil. Okay, so it may take maybe around 3-4 minutes to boil, and as soon as it starts boiling, we will add brown roux to this, and after cooking further for almost 10 more minutes, our sauce will be ready. But now we are going to add sachet d'épices to this, which is muslin cloth, a sachet made up of muslin cloth with some bay leaf, peppercorn, and thyme and parsley stock. We will wait for a few more minutes to let it boil, and then we will add the roux. Okay, if you see the stock is boiling, you need to reduce the flame, bring it to a sim, and if you find any scum or oil on top floating, you need to skim it off. Okay, so it will help you to get a very smooth sauce at the end. We will wait for it to simmer for next 4-5 minutes more. Okay, now it has been reduced and it has achieved the right stage. Now we are going to add the brown roux to our this liquid. Again, you need to ensure that the liquid and the roux has to be of opposite temperature. Okay, after adding roux, you need to mix it gently. Don't vigorously whisk it. Okay, otherwise the sauce will become cloudy. And let it simmer for next 8 to 10 minutes. It will thicken up and your sauce will almost be ready. Okay, now the sauce is almost ready. So it has reduced and it has attained the right consistency. Okay, and now this is the right stage to strain the sauce. See, if required, you can cook it further, but it depends upon your requirement. Okay, so I don't want my brown sauce to be very thick. Rather, I want it to be little thin. Okay, and if required, when I'm preparing a dish, that moment I can reduce it furthermore. Okay, so now I'm going to strain this, and our espagnole is almost ready. Okay, can you see the color of the sauce? It is dark brown color, and as I have told you before also, all the roux based sauces has to top with butter, which is called as Montero burr. Okay, and this is the way how you are supposed to prepare your espagnole sauce. Now we are going to learn how to make tomato sauce. To make tomato sauce, we have following ingredients which are displayed over here. Okay, to make tomato sauce, we require all these items. Okay, onion, garlic, tomato concuss, that is blanched tomatoes, de-skinned and de-seeded, and the pulp has to be chopped roughly. And we require some tomato puree, or you can use tomato paste also. For seasoning, we require some salt and pepper, and for flavoring, we can add some herbs. So we have oregano over here, and we have some chopped basil, and all this preparation will take place using olive oil. Okay, so for tomato sauce, as I have told you that we are going to use olive oil. So olive oil according to requirement. Then once the olive oil is heated up properly, then only we are going to add the ingredients one by one. Okay, so okay, the oil is hot now. Now first you need to add some garlic. Let it saute for a few seconds. As soon as you start smelling garlic, add some chopped onions. Saute them till they become translucent. Okay, can you see that onion has changed the color and it has turned white? Okay, it looks like as if it is translucent. Now this is the right stage to add tomato concuss. Okay, you need to ensure that onions and garlic, they should not turn brown. Okay, now we are going to add tomato concuss over here. Let it cook, let it get reduced. The tomato, after cooking the tomato concuss for at least 2-3 minutes, the excess moisture from the tomatoes has been evaporated, and now it is the ideal time to add tomato paste or tomato puree. Over here I am using tomato puree, so depending upon the color of the tomatoes, you can add tomato puree. Okay, so in case if tomatoes are little not so deep red in color, so you can add some extra tomato puree. Okay, and I feel I need to add some more tomato puree over here. And as the tomato sauce gets cooked, the color of the sauce will become dark red. Okay, now this tomato sauce has been cooked for almost 5 minutes and the moisture has been reduced. I want my tomato sauce to be a little more liquidy, so I am adding some more extra liquid to it. And I want it to get it cooked for almost 5 more minutes. At this stage you can add some seasoning also. You can add salt and some pepper. And in case if you are using any dried herb, like over here I am using some dried oregano, so I can add dried oregano at this stage. Okay, because dried herb, they require some time to release its flavor, so it is always advisable to add dried herbs in between the cooking. Okay, but fresh herbs we are going to add at the final moment once the sauce is ready. So now we are going to let it cook for next 5 more minutes. Okay, now the tomato sauce, it has been cooked for almost 5-6 more minutes, and I feel the consistency of the tomato sauce is good enough. And at this stage you should taste the tomato sauce, and if required you can add some more salt and pepper. And in case if the tomatoes are sour in taste, you can add a pinch of sugar also to cut down the sourness. Okay, and I feel the sourness is okay, and at this stage we are going to add fresh herbs. So over here fresh basil will be added at the end, and you can turn off the gas, and now it can be it is ready to be used. Now I am going to pour it in bowl. Okay, so this is our tomato sauce, and this is the way how we are supposed to prepare our tomato sauce. Now we are going to learn about one of the very important egg-based sauce, that is called as hollandaise sauce, which is served warm. The items which are displayed over here. For hollandaise we require some bay leaf, peppercorn, tarragon, chopped onions or shallots, salt, clarified butter, egg yolk, white wine vinegar, and Tabasco sauce. Hollandaise, we require to make a reduction of following ingredients. We require some white wine vinegar, bay leaf, chopped shallots or onions, tarragon, and some crushed peppercorn. Okay, all this we are going to add in a pan. Okay, so I have added some white wine vinegar. Okay, in this I am going to add some shallot, chopped shallot, some crushed peppercorn, bay leaf, some tarragon, and some water. and this I am going to put on flame. Okay, our reduction is almost ready, and now it is ready to be strained, and it can be used for the preparation of hollandaise. Okay, now we have our egg yolk. In this I am going to add some reduction which we have prepared. So almost 1.5 spoon of reduction is enough. Give it a quick whisk. Add some salt and pepper. Give it a whisk. And now this has to be cooked on double boiler. Okay. Okay. For double boiler, I have taken one patila with some water. You need to ensure that the bottom of the bowl in which you want to prepare hollandaise should not touch the water, and water should not be rolling boil also, but it has to be on sim. And now it has to be whisked till ribbon stage. You need to whisk it thoroughly, scratching the eggs from all the sides, and we need to ensure that the egg yolk should not start sticking to the base of the bowl or side of the bowl. So keep on scratching from side and keep on whisking it thoroughly. So as I have told you that the egg yolk should be cooked till ribbon stage. We'll check the consistency of egg yolk now. See, now it has still not achieved the ribbon stage, so we have to cook it for some more time. Okay, now this egg has achieved a stage of ribbon stage. Can you see it is falling in thick streak, and at this moment we can start adding butter. Okay, so now the ribbon stage has been achieved, and now we are adding clarified butter drop by drop. And while adding clarified butter, we have to keep on whisking it. So for one egg yolk to make hollandaise, you require almost 100 ml of clarified butter. Okay, so I have taken 2 egg yolks, so approximately 200 ml of clarified butter I will require. Okay, while adding the clarified butter in egg, you need to ensure that the clarified butter is warm. Okay, it should not be very hot and it should not be cold as well, but it has to be warm. If you see that your hollandaise is turning too lumpy or too thick, you can add reduction so that it will dilute your hollandaise sauce. Okay. Just turn little thin. Now at final stage, check the consistency of hollandaise sauce. Check the taste. If required, you can add salt and pepper a little more. And finally finish it with some Tabasco sauce. So hollandaise sauce has to be little tangy in taste. It has to be sour, and at the same time it should have a hint of spiciness also in it. Okay, so our hollandaise sauce is ready now. Now we are starting our next egg-based sauce, which is called as mayonnaise. And to make mayonnaise, we require the items which are displayed over here. To make mayonnaise, we require egg yolk, salt, pepper, some sugar, English mustard powder, some salad oil, and some vinegar. So let's start mayonnaise. Okay, so I have taken a clean bowl in which I have taken the egg yolks. In this, I am going to add pinch of salt, some crushed pepper, some sugar, and quarter spoon of English mustard powder. Okay, and now I'm going to add few drops of vinegar as well. This I'm going to whisk thoroughly. Once it has been whisked thoroughly, you need to start pouring salad oil drop by drop. Start adding salad oil drop by drop. To make mayonnaise from one egg yolk, you require 100 ml of salad oil, and all the ingredients which are supposed to be used for the preparation of mayonnaise, they should be in room temperature. In case if you think that your mayonnaise it is too lumpy, you can always add few drops of vinegar. Okay, and you need to ensure that you should get a consistency like this. And finally you need to check the seasoning, salt and pepper, and if required ensure that sugar has to be added always in beginning, because if you add sugar at the last moment it will not get dissolved properly and you will find crystals of sugar in your mayonnaise. So it is always advisable to add pinch of sugar in beginning only. Okay, so this is the way how our mayonnaise should look like. Okay, so today we have learned the basic mother sauces and which are displayed over here. So I hope you must be able to see the color of the sauces. So in the front row we have all the roux based sauces: bechamel, velouté, espagnole sauce, and in the second row we have tomato sauce, then we have hollandaise and mayonnaise. I hope you must have enjoyed learning all the basic mother sauces. Thank you for watching.